Hey, amazing people. Hello. Hey, TikTok. Hey, everybody. Facebook, YouTube. How's everybody doing tonight? So, give me one moment. Come on in. Let me just make sure Facebook is, let me make sure everybody is on. So, everybody's on here. Okay. How's everybody doing tonight? I see some of y'all showed up early. Y'all ready for this conversation, and I'm so glad we're about to have this conversation. It's very, very needed. Hey TikTok. I see y'all over there. So what I wanted to talk about this tonight. A lot of different situations have come to my attention um about this topic. I've talked about this before, you know, and I think that it's not talked about enough. I don't want to just talk about it tonight. I also want to talk about some solutions as well. Hello everyone. Hello, I see everybody. Um so tonight's topic is the dangerous lies that destroy our black men. Um I've been seeing that, our black men have been stepping up into some powerful positions, running for state representative, running for governor, attorney general, you know, um, wanting to do things like buy the block, giving back to the community, just different things, buying TV networks, different things, a lot of successful things. It seems like, when our black men are trying to make these moves, something always comes up against them. First thing I want to talk about is I want to talk about rape, and I want to talk about sexual assault. A lot of our black men get falsely accused of these things. Does this happen? Does rape happen? Rape happens. Does sexual assault happen? Sexual assault happens, and molestation also happens. We're going to acknowledge that here tonight. Um, I want to talk about the piece where it's being used as a weapon of destruction. And um, in talking about this topic, it's very, very touchy because people have, been through these things. And if you were a victim, man or woman, I just, want you to know that you didn't deserve that at all. You didn't deserve that to happen to you. I'm gonna tell you where the issue comes in. The issue comes in is when, and I'm going to say women because it happens at a higher percent when it comes to women. There are some women that are using these sexual assault crimes against men, and it never ever happened. Um, I want to talk about Brian Banks. I know a lot of us seen, that movie where Brian Banks did 5 years in jail. He had a bright future. He was going to the NFL. I think he played in the NFL for a few years, if I'm not mistaken. He did 5 years in jail for rape and kidnapping. He was later. Um, the woman came and said she lied on him. Just think about doing time for a crime that you did not commit. Think about that, man or woman. Think about that. Think about sitting in a cell and you know that you did not commit this crime. Think about being on trial and you did not commit this crime. Just think about it. Think about that. You have to leave your job behind. You have to leave your family behind. You have to leave your kids behind. You have to face these accusations, these false accusations against you. I have somebody on TikTok saying they're going through that right now. And this is what bothers me about these kind of things, because I don't think people think when they tell these kind of lies on people. I don't think they think how you're ruining a person's life. I just feel like sitting up and doing and making false statements, especially about rape and molestation and sexual assault, is nothing to play with. You know, that's what I want. I want the message to be tonight. It's nothing to play with. Don't lie on people in that way. You are ruining families. You're ruining somebody's life. You're messing with somebody's livelihood. I just feel I feel very strongly about this because there are people out there that this is really happening to. And do you know the people that it's really happening to? They're called liars and they're not taken serious. You know why? Because people are out here using it as a weapon to hurt men. And I'm not saying it doesn't happen to women. What I'm saying is it's happening to men at a very high rate. We're reading in the paper all the time. A man goes to jail for this. He did 20 years. He was cleared. Come on, 20 years? Could you imagine doing 5, 10, or 20 years being away from your family? Time, just a way that you could have been living life. You could have been raising your kids. You could have had a great career. You could have been, walking in your purpose. You could have been doing so many things. But you were locked up because of a lie. I feel like this, and I've said this before. The people that tell these kind of lies, I feel like they should have consequences. They have no consequences. They just don't. They have no consequences, and that's why people continue to do it. I just want to touch on how a lie can really ruin somebody's life. I was reading about Emmett Till, and all of us are familiar with Emmett Till. Emmett Till was lynched because of a lie. So he died because of a lie. Nothing happened to this woman. Nothing at all. She said she lied. She's free. She's living her life. Yeah, she has to see God, baby. Oh, she got to see God. Trust and believe that. But right now, she lied on somebody, and he's dead, and you can't bring him back. I want people tonight to know how dangerous a lie can be, and how it can ruin someone's life. And I feel like this is really being used against Black men. My thing is, if it happened, it shouldn't have happened. But if it did not happen, because see, I feel like women are using this because at the end of the day, when a woman says, I've been raped by him, guess what the world is going to do? The world is going to look at him as a rapist. He could be innocent. He could be innocent. People, because that statement was made, and rape is very, very serious, that man is always going to be looked at as a rapist. That's what everybody. I mean, let's be real. If you are a woman right now and you're watching, would you want your son to go through this? Would you want your son to be falsely accused of any sexual crime? Would you want, people to be running around talking about your son as a molester, a rapist, and he is not? Would you want this to happen to your brother? Would you want this to happen to your father? Would you want this to happen to a man close to you that you love, your husband, and it did not happen? Joanne said, I experienced it and broke up my 12-year relationship because of a lie. So do we see how serious this is? It may not, I think people don't take it serious because they have not been in that situation. And I don't wish these situations on anybody. But sometimes when you've never experienced it, some people don't care about it. It's not me. Oh, well, people, let me tell you something. People will sit up and know that a woman lied on a man and won't say a word. Her mama knows she lied. Her aunts, her cousin, a whole bunch of people know she lied. And nobody will say a thing. Let me tell you something. It is your duty if you know that somebody lied in whatever capacity, when somebody's livelihood is on the line, when somebody is about facing prison time, it's your duty to say something to that person. It's your duty to say something to that person, let that person know you're wrong. You know why? Because people continue to do things. You know why? Because nobody says anything. Nobody tells them they're wrong. So they continue to do things. They continue to lie. They continue on with it. You know why? Because they have a whole bunch of people around them that are yes men. A whole bunch of people around that aren't saying anything. That's just going along with them. It is your duty. And I'll tell you why tonight. It's your duty. It's your duty to say something, because you could save somebody's life. You could save someone from going to jail. You can save someone. You can just save someone from facing these crazy accusations. You can save someone. Because, baby, let me tell you something. Wouldn't you want somebody to come on, we're going to be real tonight. We're going to be real tonight. Hold on, because I have people in the comments talking about this is funny. How? I can't stop laughing. Oh, okay. Blocked. I don't got time for that. I really don't. I don't got time for that. Sharona, how many people say you raped them? What do you mean, Sharona? Expand on that. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put the link in the comments, so if y'all want to join me, that's fine too. I'm interested in that. That's how this is gonna go tonight. I'm interested in that. So let me put the link down here for anybody that wants to join, because I'm interested. Hopefully the link goes up in there. But you know, the reason that I say that it's our duty is because, say you were in a situation. You're facing something crazy. You may be facing some jail time. You may be facing somewhere you may lose your job. You may lose your house, whatever, your house, something. And there's one person that could come along and tell the truth on your behalf. Wouldn't you want them to tell the truth, to help you in that situation? That's how I look at things. That's why I've always been the black sheep, because I've always been the person to be like, nope, that didn't happen. Nope, it didn't happen like that. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to be that person, though. You have to. You know why? Because we will want someone to come along and be that person to us. We will want that. I'm gonna bring in Mimi. Hey, Mimi.
How are you?
I'm good, and you? Do you want to weigh in on the topic tonight?
Actually, I am personally affected by this. My grandfather, now he would be over 100 years old now, but he was accused of raping my grandmother. Okay. Mm-hmm. And that produced my dad. And my dad is adopted. And in those times, in 1967, when my dad was born, Black and white people could not get married. So this was in May of 1967. Mm-hmm. Loving versus Virginia made it legal for Black and white people to get married. So my dad, thought that he was a product of rape, which in turn made him feel like he didn't have any self-worth. And my grandfather carried that scarlet letter up until the day he died. And he had a bounty on his head until the day he died. And it stopped him from getting jobs along the way. He was dating another woman for years. And, the woman, people called CPS when they found out that he was dating this woman and said that he was a danger to the son. He has never hurt a fly. Never hurt a fly. And I found out all the family secrets now. And it was a lie. And I cannot believe that this man went to his grave with that scarlet letter. And not only that, it has affected, my dad, and it has affected me, because a lot of people thought that I shouldn't have a relationship with my biological grandfather. But I did, and that's where we learned that. We learned that, and I hate to bring up race, but we learned that from white women. And that is something from slavery that we brought in, and we need to stop it. We need to stop it. Now, if it happened, and I just want to say too, I am a sexual assault survivor as well. If it has happened, it has happened. But you can't rape the willing. You just can't.
And what do you mean by that?
That's an old, it's an old saying. But what that means is, if somebody is laying down with you and they don't say no, that's not rape. And you can't go back and say that that's rape just because of a circumstance or whatever. And it was because my grandfather broke it off with her, and they never realized that she was pregnant, and she hid that pregnancy, and then they wanted to kill him. So, the townspeople wanted to kill him. All of the white people, because now there's this mixed baby that's coming. And she wanted to say she was raped because she was in her early 20s and he was older. And I get that, do I get the big age difference? Absolutely. But she was of consent. And so she decided to lay down with this man. And when she got caught by her family, who was racist, that's the first thing she screamed, was rape. And that's where we learned that from. A lot of Black people have post-traumatic slave syndrome. And that's what Dr. Joy DeGruy says. Sorry if I'm pronouncing her last name wrong. But we take the characteristics and the tactics of white people and what they've done to destroy us. And then we take it and destroy each other. And we have to stop that. We have to be cognizant of that. We have to stop that.
Right. It's so I see somebody in the comments, Missy B's chat. I see you being negative or whatever you're doing in the comments. If you don't want to be here, why be here? That's weird to me when people do that. Like, if you don't like what I'm talking about, why be over here?
And I just want to say too, it's not like, I'm not saying that women shouldn't have their day in court, shouldn't be validated when it comes to sexual assault, and if there is a sexual assault. But too many Black men are being destroyed, and they will wear that scarlet letter for the rest of their lives. Say if they didn't and they try to go in another relationship and a woman finds out, most times the woman wants to be done with you because they don't know what happened, or, CPS could be called if somebody finds out that they were accused of that. It's like with sexual assault, it's guilty until proven innocent, rather the other way around.
Right. I just feel like it's very dangerous.
It is.
It's a very dangerous lie. Even it being a rumor, it's dangerous. I know a lot of Black men going through that right now. And that's the first thing that's attacking. Oh, well, they raped me, or they sexually assaulted me, or they forced me. And I like I said earlier, if someone was raped, sexually assaulted, molested, I understand that. I'm not talking about those people that it really happened to. I'm talking about the people that are lying, and people sit around and know they're lying though. Know they're lying and say nothing. And I feel like it's our duty as people. Let me tell you something that can never happen around me. Because I'm going to say something. I'm going to say something to the person.
Right.
And if the person don't make it right, then I'm gonna make the proper phone calls so people know that it's a lie. I wouldn't want somebody to let that happen to my son or my brother or my father or my cousins or anybody. But that's
And
what
my grandfather had to flee West Virginia and go to Ohio because they burned down his house. I mean, literally.
What?
They burnt down his house in West Virginia. He had to hide, and that's why my dad was in an adoption agency. He wanted to keep my dad, but he couldn't because he had to flee for his life. And so not only was my pap-up's life ruined and my pap-up's chances of being a father, but, you know, my dad grew up and was adopted out and never knew his family. And when he finally met his family, he was already in his 30s, you know? And so this is the effect that this has.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, I see Black women in the comments, you know, disagreeing and being rude and being disrespectful. But this is what I'm going to say. I'm not coming to this table having this conversation just because I have, you know, Black sons. I'm coming to the table having this conversation for our Black sons and brothers and fathers and cousins. That's why I'm coming and having this conversation. So women won't play around with their livelihood like that.
Well,
it's wrong.
Well, let me tell you something. I have 2 Black daughters. I don't have sons. But if I did have a son, I would be very upset. Very upset if he was accused of that. And I would be very upset at my daughters if they accused.
Absolutely.
Now they are young. They are 11 and 5. But if they had accused a man of doing that and I found out about it, I'm going in the courtroom and saying it's wrong. And that's just the bottom line, because wrong is wrong. And I've seen the effects firsthand of what happened. Now, you can deny it all you want, but that was a white woman tactic. Oh, a Black man whistled at me like Emmett Till. Oh, you know, I'm so afraid of the Black man. Da, 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 da. That's where that started. And we have to recognize that that's where that started. And we can't keep weaponizing the same tactics against our own people. And that's just the bottom line. And these women may not like it, but it is what it is. It's the harsh truth.
Right. I'm not really worried about what they like and what they don't like. You know why? Because I've had women sit up here and come on my platform and laugh and try to bash me and report my page, and then turned around and was in the same situation I was talking about. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And I don't want to do anything but bring awareness. I'm not sitting over here just bringing awareness when it comes to me and mine. No, I need to bring awareness to the whole Black community, because this doesn't need to happen. And I'm talking about Black men, because our Black men are being targeted. Our Black men are locked up for things they did not do. They're being accused of rape and everything. Like I said, I'm not talking about the people it really happened to, but it affects the people that really get sexually assaulted.
Right. And then not only that, but it's like, do we believe people now after that? Like, because if you keep crying wolf, eventually nobody's going to believe you.
Right. But we're going to be real. That's not how it happens. If a woman accuses a Black man of rape, he is guilty. Ain't no guilty until proven innocent. If he's charged with it, if it's a rumor, that's what the whole town is going to say. He's a rapist. I heard this, I heard that. Not even knowing if it's true or not. They don't even know if it's true or not. But a woman said it, so it's got to be true. He was charged, so it got to be true. Look at Brian Banks. He was charged. They proved that he supposedly raped this woman. But how about the woman lied? But this is why our criminal justice system is already messed up. because at the end of the day, all the evidence proved he did it, and he did. But what does that say about the system?
Right. The system's broken, period. The system's broken. And I mean, there was a boy in Ohio. I live in Ohio, but there was a boy in Ohio that had that happen, and it made national news. And he was a juvenile, and people probably know what I'm talking about, but I do not want to say his name. I do not want to bring up the past because I know him. And I mean, they made a Netflix special and all of that about that. He was a star football player, and now he wears that scarlet letter. And it's funny because, there was a white boy involved as well, but the white boy got a scholarship to school, and the black boy did not.
I'm sure.
And that's, I mean, now they said, they were all at a party, they were drunk or whatever. But from the videos and from the pictures, there was no even picture that he touched her. None. No evidence pointed to him. It pointed to the white boy, but it did not point to him.
Right.
And he was a juvenile. So that stuff should have been sealed anyway, according to Ohio law. And they put those boys' names out there and everything, and that was illegal.
These are the things that are going on though that aren't talked about. And it needs to stop. I don't ever want it to happen to my son. I don't ever want it to see it happen to anybody's son. But I want these women to be more concerned. To stop sitting up and telling these types of lies. Stop it. Just because you know what it's going to come down to? It's going to come down. People have to understand. Reap what you sow, and that is serious business. And you can reap. Your children can reap what you sow. So it's very, very dangerous. The same, I'm telling you, if a woman lies on a man in any capacity, sexual assault, any capacity, her child can reap it. Someone can turn around and accuse her child of the same thing. You know why? So she can feel what she thinks.
Right.
Because that's how it goes. And that's the message I want to be out there tonight to women that, at the end of the day, it's like they're getting mad because the relationship may not work, it didn't work, or this person moved on, or this person cheated. Let people go. Let people go. Don't tell these strange, weird lies on people to ruin their life. Don't do that.
And I mean, just on that note, rejection's God's protection. So if that person, wants to leave your life, let them go. Let them go, do them, whatever. You have no karma. You have no attachment to that. And that's what I truly believe.
Right.
You just got to let that go. But as far as, doing stuff deceitful, it does come back on you. And look at how it has affected my family. And no, I do not have my grandfather's last name. But my grandfather was a loving, caring man. And my dad was removed from him or ever being able to see him. And he was adopted out without his permission because he raped a woman. He was accused of raping a woman. And so he could not even take care of his own child. They put him in the foster care system. And, it's funny because in the 60s, there was more abuse going on in the foster care system than, he could have had a good life.
Yeah.
And a person that loved him.
Yeah. That tore your family apart, that lie. And I don't think people understand that. I'm tired of going on social media and reading that a person's been locked up for all this time and they were innocent the whole time. But then, and let's be real, even though a person's innocent, somebody could still come. People will still point at them and be like, "Oh, he's a rapist." You see
Right.
what I'm saying? And who wants that? Who wants to live like that?
My pop-up was what, 50 years old? He lived for another 40 years being known in his town as a rapist. I mean, they had a bounty on his head, and I finally had to call down there and tell them he is dead. Please take that down. In this little West Virginia town, he has passed.
That's crazy. I don't think people understand. I really.
And that's why I wanted to tell my story, because, you know, I missed out on a grandfather. Yes, I met him when I was 3, but I missed out on a lot of that. I missed because, you know, even my dad was like, I was a product of rape, because when he found out, you know, he's trying to meet his parents. And so now he feels disconnected, or should I, you know, have a relationship with him? Should I not? Is this true? You know? So he was disconnected from him as well. But I knew that was all baloney, because you got to think about what happened. It was the 60s.
Yeah.
It was the 60s.
Yeah. You know, I have to you know, always pray over my boy, because I see it clear as day. I put on TikTok today. Somebody shared the video with me of him, you know, pulled over a guy because his license was suspended. Tried to pull him out the car, and I'm just sitting up here, and I'm not talking to him. I'm like, oh my gosh, what if that was my brother? You see what I'm saying? Or what if that was my man or one of my kids?
Right.
Why in the Black community, we got to stop.
And let me tell you something. I think that's why I don't have boys. I really believe so, because everybody knows how I go hard for mine. I'll be in prison somewhere. So I just don't, you know, I'm thankful that I do have girls. And I mean, even it is happening to girls. It's just not happening as much
At a high
but,
rate.
you know,
At a high rate. I had I know a lot of people know that I do a lot of advocacy, a lot of prison advocacy, you know, justice system advocacy, whatever you want to call it. And I work behind the scenes with a lot of people. So I had a woman reach out to me, and she was in Mississippi, and she said I didn't know who else to reach out to. You know, she was like, you know, I got your name from somebody. She said I've been framed by this girl I was friends with. She said the girl said that I kidnapped her daughter, you know, made all these false accusations. She said I have a warrant for my arrest. It was so crazy. So I'm reading it, but I don't know, because I don't know this girl. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know what's true and what's false. So the girl actually sent me screenshots of the conversation with her and the girl really doing this to her. All because the girl did not want to be friends with her no more. Really made up all this stuff, and I'm just like, this girl got a whole warrant for her arrest. She sent me the screenshot. She said, keep these. She said, I need you to show these to the DA, you know, show these to the public defender, show them to whoever. She said, I still have to turn myself in because I have a warrant.
Right.
But she had the proof that she did not kidnap this girl's daughter.
And kidnapping is basically a life sentence.
In some places, it depends. Not a life sentence like that. It depends on what state you're in. It depends on a lot of different things. If they
and West Virginia and Ohio, it's like 60 years.
It depends on that. But me reading these messages between her and this girl, and she's telling the girl, she's like, why would you do that? Why would you lie on me just because I want to be your friend? She's like, I told you I was going to get you back. There are some dangerous people out here. And that's why you have to be careful. You have to be careful who you get into a relationship with. You see
Yes.
what I'm saying? You have to be
Men
careful
and women.
who you are friends with. I'm not saying that there's not some black men that do some things, but I'm saying that I've seen black women do devious things to other black women. They have nothing to do with black men. Devious things. You see
Oh,
what I'm
I,
saying? And it's
I
it's
see it
it's
on Facebook all the
disgusting.
time. I see it on Facebook all the time where a girl will get mad at her friend. Now they ain't friends no more. Now she calling CPS and having CPS in her house. Like, it's
Yes.
ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like, if you don't want to be friends no more, just move on.
Yeah.
But that
Yeah.
type of stuff and that type of toxicity, people are going to get hurt. And we
Yeah.
don't need people to be hurt. We're already hurt enough.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it. I've lived in the projects. I've seen girls call welfare and tell
Yes.
welfare, oh, this girl
Yes.
got a man living with her. She work, calling the rental office. I've seen
Yep.
it. I've seen it.
I've
It's
seen it
crazy.
too.
It's crazy. But that's why I come to the table. People are upset at me, or they feel however they feel, and I don't care. I try to come to the table with the other side of the conversation, because we can have a conversation like, okay, rape happens. There are men out here that have raped and molested and sexually assaulted women. Okay, that's okay. That happened. It shouldn't have happened. That
Right.
person needs to go to jail and never be let out. But
Period.
what about the men that didn't do it?
Right.
They fall in the cracks. You see what I'm saying? There's probably women that have been, accused too. It's a low percent, but they fall through the cracks.
Right.
It's different. It's a different conversation when it's man on woman. That's just like, I know women that have molested and sexually assaulted men.
Mm-hmm.
How often do you hear that conversation?
Or what about little boys, being groomed by their mothers or by their fathers and sleep with an older woman? It was wrong to mess with that woman or man's son. They talk about, oh, well, I'll break you in. It used to be the thing in the 90s when and this is no shade to like any LGBTQ people, but like when you found out that your son was gay or showing feminine traits at a young age, you would literally take him to an older woman and the older woman would have sex with him. And that's crazy. That's crazy. That's sexual assault.
Yeah.
And so then you wonder why your kid is behaving and acting out in their teenage years. Well, that's because you just groomed him. You just groomed him. He has trauma. He has abuse. And I talk about this stuff in my book that's going to come out. I talk about all of this stuff. Mm-hmm. Black women need to be held accountable just as well as Black men.
Absolutely. 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 Baby, first of all, let me tell you something. Oh, I was about to fight a few people that be in a relationship with my son, baby.
Right.
Oh yeah, women my age. Let me tell you something. I'm not going around. I'll be 40 years old. I'm not what am I going to go and lay with an 18 or 19-year-old for?
Period.
What am I doing that for?
Ain't got nothing in common.
I'm not about to do that. But
ain't got nothing in common.
Talk about my son. My son was 17 years old, and these grown women that went to school with me don't think they with my son. Oh, okay, baby, I'm gonna come out of retirement and play with you. You ain't about to do mine like that. You are a grown woman, and I mean, to each his own. Do what you want to do, but baby, my son's not mature enough to be with a woman that's my age.
Right.
But why would a woman want to be with a child? 17. My baby was working at McDonald's. What are we talking about? Why would a woman want a grown woman? Why would she want a 17-year-old? But let me tell you something. To be honest with you, the justice system do not take those cases serious. It would have been a grown man messing with a 17-year-old girl, baby. He would have been behind bars. It's the double standard for me.
Right. And see, in my case, I'm not going to need no bars. I'm just going to go ahead and handle my business when it comes to my daughter. And that's just what it is, you know. And if I had a son, I would be the same way. Like some grown woman, you know, I know this boy, he was 16 years old. He's actually my stepbrother, but his mom was like, well, there's nothing that I can do. But this girl, or this woman rather, was her age, messing with her son, and he's living with this girl, and she's like, well, there's nothing I could do. I said, hold on, he is 16 years old. There's a lot that you could do, and if not, then remove him, call the police, something. And she's like, no, well, he's grown. No, he's not grown, because you're still responsible for him until he's 18. He's living under your roof, or he's saying that he's living under your roof, and then he's getting truancy calls, and the cops call to your house because he's not going to school. So therefore, he's still your responsibility until he is 18. Now, if you want to be with that woman after 18 and he out of your house and he living with that woman, there's really nothing you can do.
I feel like, and I'm being real, I feel like some women that do that, I feel like they played out in with the men in their age bracket. That's how I feel.
Yes.
Either they played out, or they done slept with everybody, and nobody's interested in marrying them. So then they go and look for some young boy. You see what I'm saying? And it'd be about control too. It'd be about control too. But baby, they weren't about to control mine. Period. They weren't about to control mine. They weren't about to be in a relationship with mine. No, they weren't. Oh, we ain't about to play like that.
Right, because when you go low, what about my kids? I'm going straight to hell.
Yeah, we got a problem.
I'm going straight to hell.
Yeah, my son need to be with somebody his own age. Okay. But you know, I'm just glad, you know, we had this conversation. You know, I just do want women to know that you reap what you sow. I want everybody to know you reap what you sow.
Period.
You know, you have to be careful. I had a woman, like I said, I've had women come on my content and bash me and everything, and then turned around and went through the same situation they were bashing me about. And I felt like that was God humbling them and trying to show them. But you know, it's like at the end of the day, just think logical, and you won't have to go through that. You see what I'm saying? Think about, I want women to think about it. Would you want someone to lie on your son? Would you want someone to lie on you? Would you want somebody to lie on your brothers, your father, any men in your family that you care about and you love? Would you want them to lie on them? We wouldn't want that. Let's be real. We would not want that. So why do that to somebody else and ruin their life? And to the women watching that have done that and did it, you better make it right. You better make it right before it's too late. Right your wrong. I don't care what you look like. I don't care if you look crazy, foolish. I don't care if you look like a liar. Make it right. Make it right.
Yeah, because I mean, it destroyed my papa. He couldn't get jobs. And I mean, this was before internet and all that, and in the 70s, and you know, he couldn't get jobs. So he literally had to move to Ohio and, you know, start over again. And he stayed here. So
but I know I read one thing where a guy is trying to fight his case because he's innocent. They have proved he's innocent through DNA and everything. This man still has to register as a sex offender everywhere he go. Imagine that. That's crazy. Everybody's going to know.
I see this comment. They don't think about that until it happens to them. Nobody thinks about it until it happens to them. But we have to stop being selfish about that.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
We have to.
I mean, whether we think about it in the terms of politics, whether we think about it in the terms of relationships, whether we think about it in the terms of like COVID, anything, healthcare, anything that you think about, they don't think about it until it happens to them. And we have to stop that selfish mindset.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it'll never happen to me because it will. It can.
Yeah.
And just because it's not you right now doesn't mean it can't come to your front doorstep.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Not only that, you know, domestic violence is used as a high rate when it comes to Black men,
Mhm.
you know, being used against them, calling the police. Oh, he hit me. Why? Because at the end of the day, I had to, my son was actually in a relationship with someone before. And, you know, they used to, you know, argue and stuff like that. And I tell them, stop arguing. You know, stop doing that for somebody calls the cops and think y'all really fighting. And I have to tell my son, stop doing that. Y'all got to stop doing that because when the cops come, baby, they're taking you, baby. They're not taking her.
Right.
They're taking you, you know. And it's like we have to have those kind of, you know, conversations. They're needed, you know. But I think that's a sad thing too, that men are, you know, being accused of hitting women. Now, are there some men that hit and abuse women? Absolutely. But there's some that don't,
Yes.
and those tactics are being used against them, and it's in a dangerous way. It's a very dangerous way.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a very dangerous way. And you know, the system isn't going to tell us this, and that's why we need conversations like this. We need these kind of healthy conversations to get these stories out there, and maybe people can learn from them. But like, you know what, I'm not going to do that. You know why? I don't want that to happen to my son or somebody I love. And that's what I do. Like, be if I'm even if I'm like mad or I'm angry about something, I'm not about to tell a dangerous lie though. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? One thing
Right.
I'll do is if I'm angry or mad or someone hurt me or whatever, I'm going to walk away from that person. I'm going to get far away from them. That's what I'm going to do for me, because I'm not a retaliation type person at all. I'm going to just leave you all the way alone. That's it.
Now, I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Have I ever retaliated in my younger teenage years? Absolutely, but not with that type of stuff. You know,
Right.
have I ever? Everybody has. If they say they haven't retaliated or been toxic before, you're a lie. Now that I'm about to be 32, that is way beneath me. But somebody said the system is designed to destroy our Black community and not build it. But here's the thing: we're always talking about um, the system and all of this stuff, but what are we going to do about it? We know the problems. We have
Right.
to get to the solution now,
Yep.
because everybody's known the problem, and that's not, a dig to the person that commented, but we've known the problems forever. We know
Mhm.
the problems in our institutions. We know all of that. Now it's time to figure out solutions, especially between Black men and Black women, because now more than ever, we need each other. And I don't care
Absolutely.
what nobody says. I don't care if you got that independent woman trope. No, we need each other, and we need the Black man to protect us.
Yeah.
We need that.
But we got to respect them first, though. I mean, we got to respect them.
Well, that's true.
We got to respect them. We got to make them feel appreciated, make them feel valued, just like we want to be respected and appreciated and valued. We have to. But we have to have these conversations inside of our community, though. The system's not for us. You see what I'm saying? But see,
Right.
these women don't get a taste of their own medicine until their child's in the system. You see
Right.
what I'm saying? It's like now your karma's coming because you done sat up, you done lied on a few people. Now your child's in the system. It's like, no, like I said, I'm not sitting up here saying like, oh, I've never retaliated against somebody, but not like that. Not
Right.
no
Not
dangerous
like that.
lie, like that. Maybe fighting somebody, you know what I mean, or something like that. But telling no dangerous lies, absolutely not. I'm gonna walk away from you, leave you alone, and never talk to you again.
Right. And
That's what I'm gonna do.
yeah, at 30, I've learned a lot of things. Like when I see the writing on the wall, it's like, okay, time to go. Gotta get out of here. Gotta block you. If I gotta do whatever I gotta do, because you're not gonna make me come out of my character. I don't care how much I love you. You're not gonna make me come out my character. And if I have to come out my coat even a little bit, I'm staying away from you, because you're not the person that I need to be with or be around.
Absolutely. I'm not moving like that. I'm just not. Even it's people that will use things that they know about a person, against them, and things like that. Nah, we shouldn't move like that. Just walk away. Just walk away.
I
Just
let
walk
the, I let the clowns have the circus. That's what Kevin Gates said. I let the clowns have the circus.
Yeah.
Not my circus. It's not my monkeys, and that's just how I feel about it. I'm not fighting. I'm not arguing with anybody, and that includes friends, family, business, relationships. I'm not. If you have to get me out of my character, then I'm not. I'm not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not going to jail. I'm not doing none of that, and I'm raising these two girls, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sitting one day in jail.
Right. Absolutely. I understand that. I just, I really want us as the Black community to get back.
Right.
I want us to respect each other. You know what I mean? I want us to grow. I wanted to do this tonight because I want to kill that generational curse. You know what I mean? Of our Black men being falsely accused. If they did it, that's something different. But if they didn't, come on.
The problem is and just like that TikTok says, everybody grown until they have to be accountable and responsible, and that's on both sides. Black men have to take their responsibility, and Black women have to take their responsibility. It's two halves to a whole. We are it comes down to duality. We don't know how to be equal part feminine, equal part masculine. Now, yes, that we are out of complete alignment. We're just out of it. And that's just the problem. And so we have to get back to that. Now, yes, can a woman be in a masculine energy? Absolutely. Can a man be in a feminine energy? Absolutely. We have to make sure that we are in alignment with our partners.
Mm-hmm. No, I believe that. And another thing, we see out here, how the police are also doing, our Black men and women. If the police are needed, like, why are we calling them? Why are we involving them? You see what I'm saying? It's like, I want people to be careful with using the police when they're not needed.
Right.
Or using the police to, hurt someone. Be careful. They're killing us out here.
Right.
It's hunting season on us, and especially our Black men. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just dangerous to do that, because it's like, what if you do call the police and something bad happens and this person didn't even do anything for you to even call the police in the first place? We got to be mindful. We have to be mindful.
And it's crazy because I was in that situation. I have just gotten out of a relationship where there was it happened one time. It was a physical altercation. And I specifically told him to get out, and he would not get out of my own home. And he's up in my face. He's trying to choke me. But the one thing that I did not want to do is I did not want to call the police on him, even though he put his hands on me, because I'm scared. Are they going to come in guns blazing, killing me, killing my kids, anything like that? Like, no. And I'm like, please just get out. Just leave, And I think that sometimes that happens as well in a domestic violence relationship. I think that some women have that issue where they're conflicted about, calling the police, because it might end up being worse than, but at the same time, I just think that the cattiness of Black women, I mean, for real, Black women don't even like Black women. Let's talk about it. A lot of Black women will sit up here and tell me, oh, well, you're not Black enough. You're not this, you're not that. And it's like, I'm a Black woman. And I don't care what my light skin and my thin hair has to do with it. And you're attacking me. For what reason? I'm your sister. Right. So
they don't view you like that, girl, to be honest with you. They don't view you like that. It's sad.
And they use every tactic to dig at you. Oh, well, you're not Black enough for this one. Or, oh, I just don't like her and her attitude for this one. Or, oh, she thinks she's better than everybody. It's some catty stuff. And you would think that it would stop after like high school, but it doesn't. It doesn't. I've seen grown women, 50s and 60s, say rumors in the church. You know what I'm saying? At bingo. It has to stop. We have to stop being like that as Black women. So
Right. Somebody on TikTok said that there are Black police too, so all aren't hunting people. I'm not saying that I'm not, but I'm saying that come on, let's look at what's happening in the world. It's happening. I'm not saying that Black police are doing that, but it's happening. So, you know,
I want to comment on that. The Black women or the Black police officers are in an institution to where they cannot protect Black. The system still stands. The system was not designed to protect us. So it doesn't matter that there's a Black face on that. It wasn't ever designed to protect us.
mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter if it's a Black man up there, a Black woman police officer. It doesn't matter. It's the institution that's the problem. So until you fix the institution, you can have whoever in there.
That's true. That's true. Another thing I want to bring up is someone said in the comments about child support, and I'll get more into this on what's today, Tuesday. I have a regular interview tomorrow, but Thursday, I'm talking about a lot of Black women being single moms and dad's teachers. Thursday night. But I do want to talk about how child support sometimes is used in the wrong way as well.
Right.
I mean, I just feel like the court system shouldn't be involved unless it has to be.
Right.
I feel like if you have a father, you see what I'm saying, and he wants to be involved, he wants to contribute, he wants to take the child. What's the matter with that? It's like, stop using these different systems if you don't have to.
Right.
I'm cool if a person has to because they need the help and the person's not helping. But there's some people that don't have to turn to the system. They're doing it out of spite.
Right.
They're doing it as a get back.
Right.
And these systems shouldn't be used in that kind of way. But again, all these things on the table. I feel like the solution, in the Black community is having respect for one another, having compassion. I also feel like with the false accusation that women that do that need to be charged, and they need to do the exact time that person did, or they need to face the exact punishment that person would have faced. I think it will cut down on people lying. I think people are like, oh, you know what? I'm not going to do that. There's no consequences. You see what I'm saying? So I think that's why people continue to do it. But I just hope that women can really take heed and know that you reap what you sow. And the same thing you may do to someone may do to you, or a Black woman that you love. So it's like, why even take that route? If it happens, do what you need to do. But if it did not happen, prepare for the consequences of that dangerous life.
Period.
And I think the men that go through this, I think they need to start pressing charges.
I mean, they should absolutely at least go to jail for perjury and lying,
false police report,
right?
All that.
They should at least get that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, somebody said Happy Black History Month.
Shayla.
Thank you.
Shayla did.
Happy Black History Month. And it is Black History Month, and we need to have these conversations more often. Black men, Black women. I'm not saying that we're going to agree on everything. People think that we're supposed to agree on everything. We're only human. But we have to get somewhere. We have to get to a place where we can compromise. That's the end goal. In all relationships, I don't care if that's family, whatever, we have to get to a place where we can compromise and say, this is my issue, this is your issue. Now, how are we going to make this work.
Right.
It's about interdependence, not independence.
Right.
We have to depend on each other.
Right. We have to learn that we're not each other's enemies.
Right.
You know, we have to
especially
learn
in a relationship. I feel like in a relationship, you know, and I've been in relationships where I've said, hold up, I'm not your enemy. I'm your helpmate. Why are you trying to compete with me? And it's like that both on the men's side and the woman's side. It's like you're trying to compete. Everybody's trying to level up. You're not supposed to compete. That's your teammate, and you're supposed to compete against the world.
Right. But you know what? You know what, Mimi, I want to touch on that real quick before we go. When I think of situations like that, I think about who was this man dating before him?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That he feels that I'm his competition. Because let's be real. You know, women brag on oh, I got this degree, I got that degree. I've seen women sit up and tell their husbands, you know what I mean? Cuss them out. I got a master's, I got this, I got that. What are you talking about? Why are you talking to your man like that? I had to stop a woman on the street one day. They don't tell her where I live at. Talking to her man in front of these people that are like, nothing. What is something says? The way you speak to your man is a reflection of the way you feel about him. You understand that?
Right.
She talking about, oh my goodness, I love your videos. I watch you all the time. Well, baby, you must not be watching if you ain't learned nothing. You can't be watching. You can't be paying attention if you out here in public belittling your man. How do you do that?
Right.
Ain't no way. You are not his mother. You are not his mother. He seemed like the woman, and she seemed like the man. And I'm like, no, man, we don't do that. Why you with this man if that's how you feel about him and that's how you're going to be speaking to him and disrespecting him? You ain't supposed to move like that. She was like, no, you right. She was like, you right. She said, you right. I said, yeah. Like, what's wrong? I said, even when you behind closed doors, you shouldn't be addressing him like that. You should never be sitting up calling your man no B.
Right. But that's the problem, because we're not aligned with who we need to be. You know, we're not aligned. Men are operating in a toxic feminine trait. They are being, you know, catty. They are, because they're learning that from their mothers and stuff like that. So they're learning how to be catty. They're learning how to operate in a toxic feminine energy. It is okay to be feminine, even if you're a guy. But when you're in a toxic, when you're in that extreme, then you have a toxic, you know, femininity trait as well. So, and then women are in a toxic masculinity. So we're on two different opposites. We're on two polar opposites of the spectrum, when we need to realize that, yes, although every person has masculine and feminine energy, we need to harness that. We need to know when to operate in what, you know, and it can depend on which partner that you're with, you know.
Right. Right.
But that's definitely something that we need to talk about. It's all about balance and duality, and we are out of balance, completely out. And we're on two polar opposites.
Can y'all hear us?
Oh, they can't hear us?
Somebody was saying, Simba talking about y'all got iPhones because y'all can't hear. Oh, she talking to people in the comments. Some of y'all got iPhones. Y'all can't hear. Is them iPhone people
over here?
Go ahead with them iPhones, okay? We Android over here. We got Androids over here. You know, you got to listen to us on an Android so you can hear us clear. You know,
right?
We know your iPhone people used to have them blurry pictures and stuff. I used to be like, don't take no picture of me. I don't want to be blurry. Don't do that.
Right.
Somebody on TikTok said, I got an iPhone. I can hear her. But you know, I'm glad that we can. I'm going to try to have these conversations with different topics. I'll take topics too. Y'all can message me topics and stuff. but I will try, to go live as much as I can around this same time. If I'm not doing, I have a show tomorrow, a panel show, which I'll share that on my platform. But I want to try to every night during the week come and have, this, kind of commentary that people, weigh in. Is there anybody else that want to join? Look at Uncle Stu. Hey, Uncle Stu.
Somebody said this show is on time. Absolutely.
Uncle
We need
Stu.
to get to this. We need to get to the solution.
Absolutely.
We can't keep talking about the problems. We know the problems. We know the institutions are breaking us. We know all of that. Like, that's what I see. Like 90%, I'm sorry, of TikTok is, oh, well, the white man did this, or this one did this, or that one did that. Now it's like, okay, and then what? What are you going to do to stop it?
Right. Uncle Stu.
Hey, now I'm on your show. How are y'all? Good. Well, we definitely about solutions over here, and we always going to talk solutions. So I just had to come up just to say hello. I'm always honored, to see people talking about solutions and not about the problems.
Period.
Well, see, I always say study 20% of the problems, now work 80% of the time finding a solution, no matter what that problem is. So if you got a problem in a relationship, identify it and then take 80% of the rest of your day figuring it out. Don't spend 80% of your day arguing over the problem.
Right.
Spend 80% of your day finding a solution. So that's how I spend my day. When I wake up, I already know what the problem of the day is. I spend the rest of my day researching the solution.
Awesome. That's awesome. Uncle Stu, shout out to you. You introduced me to StreamYard.
Yeah.
So I'm on here now,
Listen, like I tell everybody, you got me through Red Pill Rage, gave me some positive tips, got to get ready for your birthday shout out.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I got on YouTube just to do exactly what you're already doing. I definitely deal more in the men's space, because my brothers are doing very well, and we're going to get to 20, 30 something up and propel them. So, I'm just trying to take that platform to a higher place. So anybody that come through, they can start seeing things that's going to be for that self-development and motivation.
Absolutely. And you're doing a great job. I tuned into you before I came live. And the guests you had on there. I love to it's been so long that our Black men have been like looked at negatively to now, shining a positive light. I feel like Black men need positivity and empowerment just like we need it. Sure. I want my sons to have that. If I want my sons to have that and the men in my family I love, I want that for every man in the world. That's what I want, but your guest was amazing.
Thank you.
I was listening.
Yeah, I got another powerful brother coming on Saturday.
Okay.
And as you also know, I don't know if you noticed, I'm a voiceover actor now. On
Look at you.
Yeah, I'm a voiceover actor. Thank you. So I'm basically writing my own script for this voiceover acting part. But yeah, I'm a voiceover actor. I do YouTube. I'm a researcher, educator. So I'm a little bit of everything out here now. But like I said, I try to give interviews because my argument has always been women say, "Oh, there's not enough good men," and I say, "Well, I'm putting them on my platform. So what are you talking about? Why you say you can't find them when they're there?" And then, like I said, it's trying to educate women to love the men they say they want to be with. So if you say you want to be with this individual, then let's get into it. I'm just getting ready to start a Patreon because there's certain topics that I can't talk about on YouTube. I can surely talk about on Patreon. So there's also some things that I'm going to get into the works. I'm going to see how YouTube handle it. Certain subjects dealing with, do you really understand feminism? How's it working for you? Who's really part of your feminist group now? See, a lot of people don't know the latter part. Who's really a part of your feminist group? Yeah, because there's a group that's saying they're a part of your feminism. And if you don't accept this group, they already trying to get heterosexual men to accept certain. And it's like, oh yeah, y'all got that all mixed up. How you like it now?
Yeah. Uncle Stu, people want to know how to follow you.
Oh, I'll put my YouTube channel in the private chat for you.
Okay, and TikTok, I'll make sure y'all get connected with Uncle Stu because he's amazing. He's amazing.
And so I'm just working now. Oh man, I'm getting ready to give you my email address. Oh,
Uncle Stu, you got my email popping. I'm still trying to get through emails from when I was on your show.
Look, I told you when you came on there and everybody was like, and your videos keep going up, and then everybody, how do you get in touch with her? I'm like, look, I ain't her agent. All you gotta do is go, she's over here, she's over here, she's over here. So you're doing good. Then I see that you was on there with Crimson Cure. I'm like, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I want to touch on something that Uncle Stu said.
Okay.
Can I call you Uncle Stu? Is that okay?
You sure can.
Okay. We can't hear you. Can you? It's a little.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's just a little
Yeah,
shaky.
I can hear you.
Okay. I wanted to touch on what you said about Black women saying that they're not good men out here.
Okay.
And I've been in my relationships, and I've had some of not so good relationships. But what I will say is, you are what you attract. Okay. So if you want to attract, and I talk about this on my platform and on my Facebook and all of that, and a lot of women don't like it. But if you want some man with 6 figures, then you have to be a 6-figure woman, or if you want somebody who's educated, you can't expect something from a man that you don't have. You can't be Kiki from the projects and think you're gonna get a millionaire, because millionaires aren't around you. You know what I'm saying? And that's no shade to people, or like millionaires. If I hear all these women saying, "Oh, well, I never date a man that works at like McDonald's or is a garbage man or has a 9-to-5." Listen, I'll date that man proudly, as long as he's good to me. Right. I would rather be with a man that has a blue-collar job or a 9-to-5 that's good to me and doesn't cheat on me than the man that's a CEO that's dogging me. See, because money's not the problem. The bag is easy to get. And this is for every woman. The bag is easy to get. The problem is finding somebody that's going to be your helpmate and, be that support that you need together for both sides.
Yes. I'm going to say it in a different direction. First of all, spiritually speaking, man finds a wife. So if you ain't a wife, you ain't got the quality. It's number one. I don't care if he's a garbage man or 6-figure. Second thing that women have to understand is you have to sometimes abort your own mother's toxicity. Period. A lot of the things that you're carrying around is not your true reality. The third thing that has to be understood is, you have to be held accountable on your own end. So if you're still carrying around non-accountability, then you're still living a delusional life. And a man that has his life together can see the delusion. The other thing is, you're right. You are what you attract, but I'll even look at it as a deeper dive. Like I'll say to anybody, look in the mirror. Are you really the one that you would give your son to?
Exactly.
Just like I say to a man, be the man that you want your daughter to date. So
right.
running around 3-4 women, that's the type of man you want your daughter to date. Be the woman you want you want your man. One of the most foolish statements I've ever heard a woman say is, why in the world do I want to submit to a man, cook and clean and wash and sew? So I say, well, wait a minute, that means you're a dirty woman. Why? So you telling me that you don't cook and clean and wash and sew right now? What's the difference if you got a man? Aren't you still doing the same thing? You know, right. If you can't manage the money you make, how in the world do you think you can manage the money I make? It make it make sense.
And that's what I'm getting at. Like, you know, these women are saying, oh, well, I want somebody like this, or I want somebody with a 6-pack. Do you got a 6-pack? I'm just saying, like, you have to be in alignment with what you know, like if you're not going to the gym and you say you want a big body built, you know, type of man, where you gonna meet him at? You know what I'm saying? He goes to the gym all the time. It's just like, okay, it's simple. You have to be the person that you want to be with. Like, you have to have those same qualities or be in that alignment. And I'm not just saying for the physical, I'm just saying that as an example. So, you know, you're talking about, oh, I want a man that saves and financially is stable, but are you financially stable? Or can you bring more stability to the connection? You might not be financially stable, but maybe both of your incomes, you know, because we are living in crazy times, but both of your incomes could make more stability for a household. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, but you don't got 2 cents to your name. You out here living on, you know, debit, or I mean, you're out here living on credit cards and loans, but you want somebody who's financially sound. Like, make that make sense.
It doesn't. I right now I'm putting together, you know, my philosophy is real simple. I want a man to pay 100%. I want a woman only to have to work 25%, and 100%. The last 100% is both of you working on the business outside of that home. Now, the reason a lot of women can't get with that is because they already messed up by saying, no, I want to work all these hours. For what? Don't you want to have a peaceful life? You know, a beautiful life where you ain't got to work. If you're going to work on your own business. And I ain't talking about a business where you got an LLC.
Right.
I'm talking about that business that you can walk away and have a vacation and your money is still making the money that it needs. So I develop a business where if 6 months from now, I want to go to Georgia, or I want to go to Mexico, or I want to go to, you know, West Africa, my business is still going to be in operation. A lot of people can't walk away from their business because they're the employee. Mm-hmm. They can give themselves any kind of title, but they're the employee. Right. So look at it like yours, Shalakimi. You can walk away and go, I'm going to Atlanta. I'm going to California. You know, but your money is still coming. Right. Because you built that.
I'm not there yet. I'm working on it.
That's it. You just make sure. What is your media mostly what? YouTube?
Mine? No, not at all. I'm trying to get in this game.
You're already in it.
Well, I guess now I got initiated from this conversation, right?
You're okay. So tell me if you don't mind, like 30 seconds. Give me your elevator pitch. Tell me about you and what your business is.
Oh, wow. So I have just written a book. It's called The Men Who Tried to Break Me. It's not a dig to men. It's just about a woman who has and it's about my own life, but it's about a woman who has seen abuse, has seen trauma, who, you know, has been through all these things with her father. And then in turn, that had happened in my relationships as well. And so I want to bring awareness to that because there's so many Black women that are in disarray because of the past traumas and because of that childhood. And actually, you know, psychologists say that a lot of, you know, emotional traumas and stuff like that, we are still that inner child. And so we have to fix that inner child, and we have to go within ourselves and see the patterns and see, you know, all the things. And the problem with me was I was putting it in a closet and I was hiding it, but I kept finding it in the same, I kept finding it in different men. And so after a while I had to deal with it, you know?
Without you reliving the trauma, you said, I had a lot of issues with my daddy.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to answer this now because this is a public platform, and I got it. How much was it your daddy, and how much was it you? You don't have to answer that. I want you to think about it. Let me tell you why. I don't know the trauma, and it's none of my business. The reason I say how much it was your daddy and how much of it was you, some of my experiences that a lot of girls tries to interpret adult situations they ain't got no business interpreting, and then they apply it to themselves.
Oh no, I mean, there were things that happened in front of me that were very traumatic. And so, yes, even though there was some stuff that wasn't my business, it was happening in front of me. And so at that point, you can't deny, you know, that, and, you know, being scared as a child. And it was not like it was a closed door. It was right in front of me. And so there are women like that. And that's why I want to say, you know, that abuse and trauma and all this stuff, like, I didn't realize that I had PTSD. I didn't realize that. And, you know, I had to go within myself and seek therapy for a while. And the therapist was like, you are so strong, because a lot of women would have tried to, you know, commit suicide, and you have never tried to. And you're just so strong for dealing with all of the traumas that you've had and still being alive and still like, you know, this ain't going to take me out. And so I want to help young women that have seen the same things that I have seen and that have been through sexual assault. You know, I have been through 2 near-death car accidents, so that can cause trauma. I have had a stillbirth, you know, that is trauma. And then the trauma with my dad, and the trauma with, you know, physical and mental domestic abuse. And this happens with Black women. But I'm saying too, I'm taking accountability in the book, saying I should have known when to walk away too.
Stop. That's not accountability. That's blame. There's a difference. So allow me to help you. Okay? How can you know what you do not know? How can you know love if you've never understood what love is? How can you know what something looks like if you've never seen it? So how dare you say, I should have known? How can you know a perfect, beloved marriage if you've never seen it?
I mean, I've seen it.
No. What I'm saying to you is this. If you was in a domestic situation, first of all, the manipulation started in your mind. You was manipulated and seduced in your mind. You can't walk away if your mind has not walked away. So it's not about, oh, I should have known this and I should have known that. Now the accountability is not, I should have walked away. The accountability is, I know the signs.
Right. And I talk about that as well.
And by knowing the signs, I now know if I see this and I see these signs, that's not PTSD, that's survival.
Right.
There's a difference between post-traumatic stress disorder. I'm a veteran United States Army. I know the difference.
Right.
And knowing the signs.
Right.
So you're recognizing certain signs that is made to design and develop you so that you know the signs of a narcissist. You know the signs of this, but in the blessing of your healing, you're recognizing, and as long as you can identify, this is not every man.
No, I
This
do not
was
believe that.
this man. And so when you really get that, and you're able to say, no, at this moment in time, I don't want to be strong, because what is strength? Now, according to the Bible, it says, in my weakness, he becomes my strength.
Right.
Which means in every tear I got to cry, God becomes the strength. As long as I'm acting in my strength, he's now in his weakness. So who do I really want to be the strength? Me or him?
Right. Yeah, and I talk about that, and I also talk about in the Black community how we have undiagnosed mental disorders, you know, when it comes to like PTSD, anxiety, depression, and you know, what Dr. DeGroy calls post-traumatic slave syndrome, and we need to deal with those things.
Okay, the one thing I will argue against is this idea of post-traumatic slave syndrome. See, that's a way of keeping us still stuck in bondage. What I will argue is that mental illness has now become normalized and defined as the Black culture. That's what we got to stop.
Oh no, I don't feel as though we are saying that this is Black culture, but I'm saying that if you need the help, you shouldn't have the stigma, because a lot of people in the Black community, when I was going through therapy, they were like, oh, well, you're weak, you know, and I believe being vulnerable and, you know, just saying, it was empowering for me to just be like, you know what, this is who I am. See me.
I'm sorry that you received those messages of being weak, because right now I see a very strong individual, and an individual that is opening up to somebody she doesn't know, who is speaking her truth, who is speaking out all of her things, and still coming out here with a smile.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I'm always going to say it is an honor and a humble blessing to see that you can do that. So you're doing the right thing. So get out there, teach. That's what people are looking for. They're looking for the truth in your story. Don't worry about other people's narratives. Don't worry about other people's talking points. Because I always had a joke on something that's on Shalakimia's page. I laugh. That's that issue. I think it was on your TikTok. I'm gonna try to use Kevin Samuels, and I'm going, if this idiot would have took less than 2 minutes and looked down Shalakimia's page, she would have never been hollering about, oh, Kevin Samuels always having the need to be right. I'm going, wait a minute, dude. Have you looked at her page? Do you know what her message is? Right. So don't worry about the talking point.
Oh yeah, and I mean, I know I'm gonna get flack, and I know Shalakimia gets flack, and you know, don't play with my sister, because I ain't saying it like everybody else. I'm just saying I'm a work in progress. But
it's all right.
You know, I just, you know, I really want to bring these issues up, and you know, I hold myself accountable to certain things. I mean, women have to be accountable for, you know, their lives, and I just think that the book is going to, you know, show the cycle of abuse, and I think it's going to help men too to see, you know, if they are abusive or to any extent, this could be what your daughter goes through, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I also don't bash men in it. I talk about submission. I talk about duality. I talk about us being out of balance and needing to get back to balance.
When you define duality, what is your duality? Because when you say duality, to me, it's either a person who is black and white, meaning they either have a black parent or a white parent, or duality is culture, meaning someone who may have been born Jamaican, living in America. They're not fully accepted as being Jamaican, but they're not fully accepted according to the
Oh
terminology of
no,
the
I'm not
state.
talking about duality when it comes to race. I'm talking about duality when it comes to spiritual. Being in duality and being in alignment, both masculine and feminine. Listen, everything natural has a masculine and feminine trait. And it's up, and just like I said a little while ago to Shalakimia, you know, in every relationship, it's going to be different. And, you know, maybe one man operates more in his feminine energy than the next man. You have to find that balance with every relationship. But also, you know, in my age group, I see women saying, oh, well, I'm not going to submit. I'm not going to submit. And I think it's because they've taken submission and said that this is like, you're supposed to be a yes man. You're supposed to be, you know, it's like slavery 2.0. That's not what submission is, though.
Right, Mimi. I want to
How old
stop
are you?
you. Hold on. I want to stop y'all.
Okay.
I think I think we should put together a time to do a panel.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, no, it was getting juicy. I just think we should put together a panel and add some other people to the conversation and have a conversation about relationships and submission and yeah, how we're not aligned with each other, where people don't know their role, because that's what it is. You know, people don't know their role. They don't know people are in relationships and don't even know how to be in one. You know, so I think we can definitely put that together. We can definitely put that together for like one day next week. I'll all get us all together and we can plan that. I think it'll be awesome, and we can work around. I know you do a show every day, Uncle Stu. Is it every day?
When you call me, don't worry about my show. I'll shut it down.
Okay.
But right now, I think I got one Saturday, I got one Monday. But if you hit me up, I'll move everybody around just for you. So don't you worry about it.
So yeah, we're gonna do that.
He said you special.
Oh yeah, she get top rank. Yeah, I need to make sure she got a monetization on her. So I'm gonna have to get on her about that. You got the people, and I know you got the watch hours.
Okay, yeah, we'll me and you will talk. But yeah, I want to put together a panel so we can have these. I was already going to do one once a month. Okay. So I'm just trying to transition from retiring as a graphic designer and a business coach and trying to transition. So I just did that. So I'm trying to get everything, but I want to do that once a month.
Okay.
With some powerful people. I'm gonna start with y'all too. We'll add a few other people, and we'll get it going. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this show.
Okay.
You got it.
Yep. I appreciate y'all.
I appreciate you.
Put your information in the comments so people know how to, get.
Okay, I put it in the private chat. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, put it in there so people, will know. And then I'm gonna close out.
Okay, well, I will see you guys later. Yeah, it's about that time. My kid's acting crazy anyway. So
don't worry.
Make sure you put your information in the chat so people know how to get in contact with you.
Okay, I'll put it in there now.
Okay,
all right, ladies, it's been a pleasure. I'll be in the chat.
Okay.
Okay.
I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me tonight. I really wanted to talk about this topic, so we are so we are aware, not only I just really wanted, Black women to hear this, so you can have the conversation with your daughters, everybody to just be aware. I don't want people to be falsely accused of anything, man or woman. I just don't. I see it at a very high rate when it comes to Black men because let's be real, they are the target. I don't want them to be the target at all. I feel like us as Black women can, protect our Black men as well. Just like they, protect us, we can protect them too. Um, I don't want this to be going on in our community. I don't want people taken away from their children and their families behind a lie. I want us to be more mindful of how we're handling and treating each other. And I just want to thank y'all so much, for tuning in with me. TikTok, thank you, TikTok, for tuning in with me tonight. Facebook, YouTube, I just want to thank y'all. Um, I think moving forward, the solution is just respect and compassion and doing our part inside of the Black community and stop oppressing each other. If there are certain systems that you need to use because you are in danger or something did happen to you, I encourage you, to definitely do what you need to do. But please don't just falsely accuse someone of something they didn't do, man or woman, because you wouldn't want someone to do that to you or someone you love. But thank you so much, y'all, for tuning in with me. I love y'all, and y'all are amazing.